Just to give you a little bit about me, I'm a board-certified surgeon and plastic surgeon, and actually completely changed my career when I got introduced to Ayurveda, the traditional system of medicine from India. Natural health became my passion. My mom died of breast cancer, and in my practice as a plastic surgeon, I was doing a lot of breast reconstructive surgery and noticing that my patients were getting younger and younger and younger until finally I was doing women in their 20s. This is 20 years ago. So I went through the medical research to see if there was anything that women could do to help to lower their risk, and literally found thousands of studies showing that our diet and our lifestyle are really the explanation for why we have this incredible epidemic. So that brought me into the world of natural health, and as I said, I got introduced to Ayurveda, and that was it for me because it's such an amazing system of medicine that really helps us to get balanced and to have extraordinary health. So I actually decided to leave my practice because my passion is really teaching people how to avoid the knife, as I say. But as I learned more about Ayurveda, I actually thought, geez, people really need to know this. So I went to the television stations in Cincinnati, where I was living at the time, and said, hey, let me be your on-air doctor doing a segment on complementary and alternative medicine on the newscast. And this is back in 1999 and 2000. And so they said, okay. So I did that, and I was working actually 14 hours a day, 7 days a week in order to pull off doing television as well as my plastic surgery practice. And about 3 years into it, it got syndicated to the Wisdom Television Network, and at that point I was getting burned out. So I woke up one morning and went, I can't do this anymore. So that's when I decided to leave my practice, and what I do now is to educate people about approaches to achieving extraordinary health and longevity. I've written several books. My first book, Waking the Warrior Goddess, Dr. Christine Horner's program to protect against and fight breast cancer, won the best health book of the year and has been a bestseller, and educating women about what they can do to help lower the risk of developing breast cancer, and also to help them to live a long, healthy life if they have suffered with this disease. My latest book, which just came out 2 weeks ago, is called Radiant Health, Ageless Beauty, Dr. Christine Horner's 30-day program to extraordinary health, beauty, and longevity. So my passion, as you can hear, is really about natural health, and my expertise is that, as well as my background in Western medicine, which I think gives me a fairly unique perspective in putting together natural health as well as from the Western approach. When it comes to the life vessel, I was actually introduced to the life vessel in 2006. So how the life vessel works, there's part of it that's a mystery, but my understanding of it is it works through quantum physics. So we're talking about an area of physics that understands that at the very finest level of life, everything is made out of vibrating strings. So those vibrating strings give a frequency and a vibration to all living things. And that means your cells have a vibration, your tissues have a vibration. When they're unhealthy, they lose energy, and their vibration is actually much lower. When they're healthy, their vibration goes up. We collect toxins in our body from all sorts of different sources, from pesticides to herbicides to even emotional problems that cause us to not digest our food as well. According to Ayurveda, that's one of the principal ways that we get toxins in our body. When we have toxins in our body, it doesn't function very well, and the energy in our cells goes down. And because the energy is so low in the cells, it can't get rid of those toxins. So the life vessel works in a number of different ways, but it works, as I said, through quantum physics, as using frequency, sound, vibration, and light. And one of the things that it does is it helps to add energy into the cells. The cells then have enough energy in order to expel toxins. So if you're ever in the room with someone when they're in the life vessel, it's unbelievable how much you can smell these toxins being emitted. They smell like petroleum products, almost like crayons. You can smell mold in there. So a profound detoxification occurs. Another way that it works is that when we did all of our research, it had mostly been on the biochemical nature of the body. So we were studying different chemicals and how they hooked onto receptors in the human body. But what was discovered a number of years ago, and actually the gentleman who did that won the Nobel Peace Prize, or Nobel Prize rather, what they found was that not only do we have biochemical receptors, we also have electrical receptors. The human body is very electrical in nature. You can see that by the EEG, which shows the electrical nature of the brain, and the EKG that shows the electrical nature of the heart. So actually we have electrical receptors and we are influenced by electricity throughout our body. Now we have two systems in our body that aren't within our conscious control, and they're called the parasympathetic and the sympathetic systems. The sympathetic system everyone's kind of heard of because it's our fight or flight structure. So whenever you have something that stresses you, you want to do the fight or flight thing, so it really speeds up your heart rate and gets your muscles so that you can run if you need to. The parasympathetic has the opposite effect, where it's very relaxing. So it's involved in the peristalsis of your intestines, to help you to digest, and very much responsible for the relaxation response. Now, in this country in particular, most people have way too much of their sympathetic nervous system on because we're under constant stress. And ideally, what you want to have is a balance between the parasympathetic and the sympathetic systems. So the life vessel has actually been shown to balance those two nervous systems. Now, what's important about that is that when they're in balance, then you're getting the optimal amount of electrical charges that go out in your body, and that affects your immune system. It also affects your DNA. And so our DNA can be read in various different ways, and it changes depending on all sorts of things, from your external environment to your emotions and so forth. And so when you have your electrical system balanced, it will cause the DNA to read in a more normal way. And that's why we can see incredible benefits that occur in a whole variety of health conditions associated with the treatments in the life vessel. The approval for it has been as a relaxation device, and it definitely does that, but so much more. So stress is actually something that we believe plays a role in virtually every single chronic disease. Even the National Institutes of Health, which is a fairly conservative Western organization, has said that 90% of illnesses, physical and mental, have stress as one of the contributing factors to it. We could probably say that it might even be more than that if you expand your definition of stress. So in the system of medicine, Ayurveda, that I'm certified in, it was recognized 5,000 years ago about what a huge role stress plays in the development of every single kind of chronic, illness. And so it was recommended to do meditation. And in fact, doing effective stress-reducing techniques, and this could be meditation, I practice transcendental meditation, or Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, all of these things have been shown to train your nervous system not to react as strongly as it normally would. So in other words, if you have the same stress that comes at you, the levels of your stress hormones do not rise as high, and the chronic levels of high stress hormones are the things that are known to create damage to your body, as far as accelerating aging, increasing your risk of diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, and all sorts of other chronic disorders. So minimizing stress in your life is extremely important. I believe at working on it at a bunch of different angles. So one, anything that you have actually under your control, it's great to be able to change factors in your life to minimize stress. In addition to that, doing an effective stress reducing technique every day is super important. And then to kind of get a supercharged relaxation, the life vessel treatments are also an excellent way to create less stress in your body. It really kind of takes out a lot of that stress response within you, and it in itself acts as an effective stress reducing technique if you do it on a regular basis. I think it can be a positive contribution for virtually any condition, and that's because, again, stress is something that contributes to all different chronic conditions, and also the stress response, which puts us into that sympathetic overdrive, gets really corrected with the life vessel by balancing the nervous system. And then the toxins are something that we know really clogs up the system. And you can kind of think of it that when your system is clear, the channels in it are clear, that the internal healing intelligence within you flows very easily and can help to keep you well. But when those channels get clogged, then that intelligence can't flow through very well and can't keep you well. So it's extremely important to keep those channels open. And I personally use the life vessel many times. And when I first experienced it, I'm very healthy. And so what happens when you're very healthy, and plus I practice transcendental meditation, so I have a trained nervous system, we'll say, I had the most profound spiritual experiences when I was in the life vessel. Just, to begin with, I went into what we call a transcendental state where you have no thoughts, and I could witness that I was having no thoughts for about an hour. It was absolutely extraordinary. And that's been the reports of a lot of people who are healthy that use the life vessel, is that it actually causes them to have really profound spiritual experiences. If you're sick, and I've had that a few times when I went through it. So one time I had an incredible stressful event in my life where I had a sick relative that I took care of, and the level of stress that was associated with it was the most I've ever experienced in my life. And when I got back home, I thought, oh, this is, when people say, gee, did you have any stress in your life recently when you developed cancer or something? This is the kind of stress they're talking about. So I knew I had to do something as an emergency to help myself recover from that extreme amount of stress. So I actually went to the life vessel every month. You can go as soon as every 21 days, but I went once a month for almost 2 years. And at that time, when I first started out, I had complete adrenal burnout. My thyroid was gone, my pituitary. It just really, that level of stress really got to my endocrine system. And so it took about 2 years for everything to come back to normal, but I went every single month for that length of time, and I think it helped to save my life. Yeah, I think of the life vessel definitely as complementary medicine, and definitely we can't make like structure and function claims saying this cured whatever. What I think that it does is that through detoxification and through balancing the nervous system and releasing stress, it allows your body's own inner healing intelligence to work so much better that it can take much better care of you. And so again, no matter what condition it is, it's working at detoxifying the body, balancing the body, taking that stress out and strengthening it so that it can keep you well, because we've got that intelligence within us that can correct any disease, because those are all manifestations of imbalances. So it's just a matter of really strengthening that internal healing intelligence. And in the past we were just stuck with Western medicine that didn't know anything about health, and I can attest to that because I learned nothing about health when I was in medical school and in residencies. So now we have an amazing understanding about we'll call them subtle energy ways that the human body works that we really never looked at before. And these subtle energy techniques are really looking at the human body as energy. And again, we work through quantum physics, we work through energy. And when you think about quantum physics, where we're the finest level of life of these little vibrating strings, that's true for the human body too. So at our finest level, we're actually sound and vibration. And so by working in the human body with sound, with vibration, with light, we're working at that subtlest energy, which is actually the most profound place. So for instance, if you look at the human body like a tree, if we do Western medicine, we're out there on the leaves and just trimming away. But if you think about using energy medicine or subtle energy devices, we're actually at the roots of the tree, watering it, which causes the whole body to flourish.